This is a review of my Jobeky electronic drum kit. Pretty amateur review, but this is all about my experience of buying the kit, setting it up and playing it really. If you want to know how these things sound, there's lots of kind of pro videos on YouTube, but suffice it to say, this kit is amazing and it's better than me. So the sound it makes, the feel it has, are relatively academic because it's all brilliant. But this is more about my experience with it, because I'm an amateur drummer. I'm not that great, so I'm not going to play it for you. But to be honest, when you see those pros on videos, they can make tin cans sound good, couldn't they? But I've been playing since I was a kid, mainly on I used to have a proper drum kit, way too noisy. And for the last 20 odd years, I've had a Yamaha DTX Express drum kit, just been playing on that. And for the last 3 or 4 years, been doing drum lessons at Peterborough Music School, where I get to play on a proper kit. But I've always wanted something that looks like a proper kit, but is electronic, so you can play it at home and it's nice and quiet. And a couple of friends of mine and my drum teacher, Simon, recommended Jobeky to me, and I just fell in love with them. And I'm really glad I went down the route of buying them. So let's just walk you round what's what. So after a couple of years of deliberating over whether I should buy a Jobeky kit or not, finally made the plunge. Ordered it online, nice and easy to order online. A little bit nerve-wracking, so it's an expensive piece of kit and you're basically just paying for it up front. And Jobeky told me that it was going to be 3 to 4 month wait. It was a little bit more than that, but to be honest, it didn't worry me. I was in no real rush, and I was in contact with Jane from Jobeky, who kind of reassured me that the company exists, it is a thing. You know, sometimes you buy things online, you're not quite sure. And also I was encouraged by the fact that they've got an Instagram page and they're regularly posting pictures of kits and cymbals and triggers and all the rest of it that they send out. So it didn't worry me about the wait. And they say anything worth their salt is worth waiting for, and this is definitely the case. So when it arrived in a load of cardboard boxes, and I've never set up a normal drum kit before. So I was a little bit stumped on how it all went together to begin with, but I figured it out. It's not rocket science. And put it together. To be honest, initially, I was a little bit disappointed because I've been so used to playing a small electronic kit, didn't really know what to do with all the space I suddenly got, all these massive drums. So it's kind of one step back to take 2 steps forward. I've got used to it all now. Also, I didn't have the kit set up very well. I didn't have the hi-hat set up properly, which it is now. So it opens and shuts. I didn't have it bolted in right, really. That's because of my ignorance on how to set up a kit. I didn't have some of the cymbals plugged in properly. I didn't know where anything should go. So when I went to my drum lessons, I kind of copied the kits there and set it up accordingly. And then over time, the kit's become really just fantastic. It suits me down to the ground. And now I can suddenly, things I struggled with on the DTX kit, I can play easily. So the kit is just so beautifully made, all this chrome work. So I've gone for piano gloss black, and I went for a black chrome snare drum. It looks amazing. And I've also got, it was a little Christmas present actually, a cowbell as well. I decided to get an amp so I can play it if friends come round or whatever. I can show them my Bonham. And I thought I'd get the best I could afford. So this is an 80 watt Joby, a PM200 Roland. But to be honest, I've probably used it a handful of times and I'm so worried about the noise it's going to make for the neighbours. I think I've got an OTT. I could have easily have got away with a smaller one. So I didn't need to spend all that money. And then the same goes with the controller, the brain. So I've got a Roland TD27. Which is amazing. You can also go for a TD17 when you order these kits. But again, to be honest, I haven't really learnt my way around this yet. I've only used 1 or 2 of the kits, and there's just probably 98% of the functions I'm not using. So again, I think if I had my time again, I'd probably get something a little bit cheaper, because I don't need the expensive brain. Here we go. Most of the time I just listen through these Shure in-ear phones, which are fantastic, but I also need a rack. I need a stand for this control unit, the brain. I've just got it rested on my drum pad at the moment. Tidied all the wiring up. So one of the problems I had at the beginning was down to the bass drum. So something that disappointed me at the beginning. So pressing this bass drum, I was getting a lot of bounce back. And that was manifested itself when I was playing. Any small bounce back is kind of, it gets picked up by the sensors. So I've managed to get around that through the settings on the control unit, and also loosening off the skin, which has helped massively. But the other big thing it's made me do, I've always buried the beater, as they say. It's not prison slang. But lots of people tell me really I shouldn't do that. So I'm having to teach myself a new way of playing the bass drum, which I should be doing anyway. And if you do it properly, you don't get any of that kind of shimmying. That aside, I keep it in my lounge because it's so beautiful. It's just like an ornament. I decided to go for gold cymbals, brass cymbals. You can also get them in silver or black, but I wanted it to look like as close to a proper drum kit as I could. And it is absolutely amazing. It's got really nice feel through these mesh heads. And it doesn't make a lot of noise when you're banging away. The cymbals are really quiet. So I can play to my heart's content and not really annoy anyone. I suppose the bass drum's the only thing that's relatively loud. But yeah, I guess if you had a kit like this from any of the kind of, main manufacturers, it would probably cost 3-4 times what this does, but I can't think of anything I'd rather have than this Jobeky kit. I'm really, really pleased with it. I'm right at the beginning of my time with it. It's probably going to last me a lifetime. One of the good things about this as well, you could also put normal drum heads on it and it could be a normal kit. So yeah, I'd love to be in a pub band one day, but I don't think I'm brave enough. I'm just going to be a lounge lizard and just pretend I'm Animal or John Bonham at home. So highly recommended, Jobeky. They're a really great company to deal with, really friendly, really helpful. They make an absolutely amazing product. The quality is just off the scale. For me anyway, I'm sure proper drum geeks would be a little bit more critical. Not that there's anything to be critical of, but for me, they're absolutely perfect and highly recommended.